Hello, welcome back to my channel. So I want to talk about Shonta and True in this last episode of Love During Lockup. But before I get to that, I want to talk about a few different things I found out about Shonta. So I was being nosy. I was looking at Shonta's social media, and I was actually surprised because we know some of the same exact people because she's right from the same area I'm from, and we have a lot of mutual friends. And I also noticed that Shonta got married back in 2017. So this is the guy she married. I'm not exactly sure what happened to that marriage, but I also thought it was interesting that Shonta has listed under her work history that she worked at the Kansas City Police Department from January 2007 to present. And I don't remember her saying anything about working at the police department on the show. You know, she said she worked as a restaurant manager. I'm just assuming this is probably an old job and she forgot to update it when she left. I wonder what she did at the police department. I doubt she was a police officer. She probably worked at the front desk or something. But I just thought that was interesting. She went from working at the police department to dating a prisoner. So now let's talk about this last episode. Shonta has been working as a restaurant manager for a while, and they showed her working at this restaurant, and they tried to blur it, but it looked like it was Whataburger, and she has big dreams to open up her own restaurant. So she's thinking about making a soul food restaurant, and it showed that she's currently living in Independence, and that's actually my birthplace. They actually call it Spindependence because there's so many tweakers up there, and that's one of the reasons why I moved out of Independence. Here's the thing though, Shonta really don't have the money to open up this restaurant right now because she has 2 mortgages she's having to pay for her house in KCK and her house in Independence, and then she's having to send her prison boo money every single week, and it's adding up quick. And she said this is the most money she's ever spent. She really doesn't have any money left over, so she's gonna have to go to the bank to see if they'll loan her $100,000. Shantae's prison boo True has hopped on board with opening up this restaurant, even though he doesn't have any restaurant experience, but he's making the most out of his time in prison. I will give him that. He's in there taking culinary classes and sharpening up his skills, and he's lucky because I have never heard of any prisons around here in Missouri having culinary classes like that. Like, this dude had squid, he had all these nice ingredients and food that I don't even have in my house, like food that they just usually sell at 5-star restaurants. I mean, I ain't even seen squid before, yet this man has it in prison. Shantae's the one with all the cooking skills, so she's going to be the one making all the food, and True wants to be in the background doing like management. But here's my thing. You know, Shantae had to work her way to the top to be a manager in a restaurant. She didn't just get handed that job from the jump, and she's just handing this title over to True when he has no experience, and she don't even know if he's going to be good for the job, yet she's going to give him a leadership position, and she's going to put all her money into this business, and I hope she don't make him a 50-50 partner and then things don't work out and then she ends up screwed in the process. Like, if that was her, I would just start True off as a typical employee or a team leader, and he can build his way up before I make him like a manager or head honcho. A lot of times when people just hand people things over and they don't have to work for it, people usually don't appreciate it as much because they don't understand the time and effort that it took to get there. And I'm sure True is the man in prison whipping up all the prison concoctions, and that's actually not a bad place to start in prison because I've seen some really smart dudes like come out and be culinary chefs just because they started mixing things in prison and figuring out substitutes and just figuring out the basics of making food. Like, hey, I got a good business idea for True. Like, if he came out and made like a prison cookbook and sold it on Amazon so people could ship it to their loved ones in prison, I think that would do pretty good. Shantae hopped in her car and she decided to go pull up on this girl who is going to be working as her mentor in the restaurant business. And I thought that was a really smart decision for Shantae to do so she can really understand what she's getting herself into. So she sits down, she's asking her questions. True calls up Shantae because he wants to be there in the meeting and he has a few things he wants to ask. So the first thing he asks the mentor is, how long is it going to take for us to turn a profit? And she's like, unfortunately, this is business, and with a new business, it's going to take at least 2 years. At least for me it did. And True was not happy to hear that at all. He's wanting to get money within a few months, but unfortunately, when it comes to like a new private business, that's typically not the way it is. Especially during the first year of business, it's so important to reinvest a lot of the money that you make to continue growing the business. And because the first year of business is when a lot of businesses fail. 23.2% of private sector businesses fail within the first year. And after 5 years, 48%, that's almost half, have failed. I think Shantae should test out her skills and try to prove the concept first by seeing if she can sell plates on Facebook and social media locally and see how that goes. So the lady ended up giving Shantae and True some really good advice about the business, and afterwards Shantae decided to go meet up with her brother. So her brother was actually locked up with True and he introduced True to Shantae. Shantae sits down with her brother and she reveals that her brother was struggling at one point. She felt bad for him, so she decided to move him in, and she was trying to save up for this restaurant, and he stole $5,000 from Shantae. So Shantae was like, are you going to give me my money? And he's just playing dumb. He's like, look, I was on drugs when I was living with you, but that doesn't mean I took your money. But you could just see it written all over his face that he did that shit. And then Shantae was like, okay, obviously I'm not going to get anywhere with him just trying to tell him that I need it. So let me see if True can try to scare him into paying me my money. So she has True talk to him. He's like, you need to make it right with her. You owe her that money. And I guess we're going to see if he ends up paying the money. I highly doubt. And just the way he was acting, he didn't seem like he had any intentions on paying her back anytime soon. Man, that is so damn out of pocket. Shantae is better than me. I would not be bringing my brother who stole $5,000 from me on a TV show. I'd be like, no, you are not about to get no clout off me or no camera time, because she's literally working her butt off as a food restaurant manager, and they don't make a lot of money. It's an underappreciated job, and it had to take her a lot of time to raise that $5,000. Here's her grown adult brother who she doesn't even have to help, and she helps him get on his feet by staying with her and try to put him in a better spot. And all he does is leave her in a worse spot once he leaves and steals from her and rips away her dreams. That is just so out of pocket, man. But that is it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think about everything in the comments below. Check out my lashes and cosmetics at AccordingtoAmber.com. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.